And action.
Says the producer.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right, so Anne, tell me about the process of writing this song, because it's very interesting lyrical content.
So the process of writing this song is similar to the process of recording the song and the process of making the video, which is like everything has just come together in this kind of magical, mystical way. So I have been into astrology for years, but I only recently registered that I was actually born under a full moon.
Oh.
And when I learned that, I was like, whoa. And then just that phrase, born under a full moon, I was like, well. And so I had that in my notebook. And I also had this thing about blaming it all on Mercury. Like I had that'd been sitting in my notebook for years. Like I blame it all on Mercury, and that had been making it through several notebooks. And then when I put them together, like really the whole thing came together in just a few days. And I mean, I shifted and edited and whatever, but it was so simple. It was like, it's that thing that happens when you're creating and you manifest something that already is.
I love that.
It's the best.
Have you ever looked down at the paper afterwards and you're like, oh, that's not even my handwriting? Where you're just
no, I have
where
not
you're
had
like,
that.
what? You're like, how did that even happen?
I look forward to having that experience.
But was it like that where you looked down and you were like, wow, it's just, there it is?
Do you know what I had that about? I had that about the chords and the structure of the song. Because it was literally like, I played some chords, I sang something, and then I was like, I think that's the song.
I love that.
And usually it's like, oh, this, that, do I go to the 5? Maybe I go to the 7, whatever. And it was like, no, I think it's close to done.
Yeah, because when you sent it to me, I was just like, oh, I understood this. I was like, this is it. This is the song.
And I felt pretty confident you were going to feel that way. And then the process of recording it was
on a full moon, right?
On a full moon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We recorded it on a full moon.
Yes.
In Mercury retrograde.
Oh, right. That's right.
And it was like the song just happened.
Then I played that weird bass line.
Yeah.
And then I watched, as soon as that was in, I watched Jeremy stand up and just grab a guitar. And I remember you said something about it. You were like...
Well, no, because you were like, Jeremy's gonna play guitar, and I was like, what's going on?
That's when good shit's gonna happen.
Totally. And he sat down and he slayed.
I mean, it was weird, dark energy that came out of him.
Totally. It was like he channeled the fire at the core of the earth, and it rumbled up to the surface. And it was exactly what you wanted, because I was like, I don't know if the choruses should be big or not. And then you were like, they should be intense without getting louder.
Yeah.
And that is exactly
it was
what Jeremy
dark
did.
And beautiful. I
it
loved
was gorgeous. It was fantastic. So then we went home from that recording day, and then the next morning I listened to it in my headphones, and I literally, in this experience I have never had before, I burst out laughing and started crying at the same time.
Oh, nice.
I was so, it was so right. And especially those guitars Jeremy did, and that thing that you talked about, how it should get more intense without getting bigger, in the choruses, that happened. And I literally was laughing and crying at the same time.
Laughing and crying, it's the same release.
Totally.
But it's
totally,
Joni,
but I was
Mitchell.
doing both.
It's Joni Mitchell.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I thought you were going to catch it.
I missed it.
Cut. Let's start.
Cut. And you got the Joni Mitchell reference in my other song. But
I did? What was it?
Now I'm down the hill from you know who.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Palm trees and parking lots.
Yeah.
And then we made the video with Ben and Nile.
Oh my God. I know.
And it was the same thing. It was I was like, I have to make this video, but I was busy on that theater project and I was so distracted and kind of didn't have the bandwidth. And then I was talking to Ben about something else, and I was just like, we should just do this. And Ben was like, yeah, let's just do this. And then you made the space happen. And then suddenly it was the one take idea.
Yeah, talk about the one take, because that's really fascinating. Every time somebody says, oh, this was done in one take, it's almost like a challenge for me to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm going to find out where it wasn't one take, you know?
They're lying.
Yeah.
They have to be lying.
Right. So talk about that. I want to know about that.
So all I knew when I sent Ben the song was I wanted it in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like Cassavetes, like handheld. And since we were doing it in the studio, I was like, the camera can bring the urgency and the intensity, right? Like with the movement.
Wow.
And then we were tossing ideas back and forth, Ben and I, and we were tossing like black and white videos back and forth. And he sent me this black and white video. What's the name of that band? You watch it too, the Canadian band? What's the name of that band? Metric.
Yeah.
So he sent me this Metric video, and he was sending it to me to look at like the light and how, because it was in black and white, and how the light was used, but it was a one take video.
Oh.
And I thought he was sending it to me for the one take thing.
I see.
That he was sending it to me for the light. And then I write back like, the one take idea is so cool. And he's like, okay, I could be down with that.
Oh, wow.
Which was literally the morning of the shoot.
Oh, so he had no idea about the one take?
No.
So all of a sudden you were like, and I also want you to do this impossible thing.
Impossible thing.
Yeah.
And then immediately my brain was like thinking about the studio space and mapping out, okay, if I start here and then I go there and then Barb and Jeremy could be playing here and then I could go there. And this is where it helps to be like a movie freak, right?
Yeah.
You know, being a movie freak can help with the music videos.
Yeah.
And then it just happened. I mean, you know, we shot it over like 6 hours and we did it like 15 times.
Right, but when you said the one
happened.
take, I didn't really conceive of what I mean. For me, when I heard you say that at the beginning of the day, all I could think of was like Goodfellas, Boogie Nights, and I'm like, those seem impossible. And then when all of a sudden when I saw it in action, I was like, this is so incredible, and it was so smart how it was done. I mean, I'm just like tooting our own horn here.
Let's toot our horn.
The video is smart to me. The video felt really smart, but I didn't really get it till like the second take. And then when we did like the second take, I was like, I see. Oh, it actually is one full shot the whole way through. He really wasn't like, you guys were serious. It is one shot. Mm-hmm. But like, you disappear from places, we disappear from places.
Yeah.
So.
But here's the other thing I love about the video, and I want to say this is Jeremy's also in the room. Like, we have made this album together over 2 years. Crazy how long it's been. And it really was 2 years ago this month that we started. And Mercury's retrograde, and I love that you guys are in the video. Like, it makes me super happy. It like warms my heart that we made a video with the three of us in it, because we have been like in this album on, I mean, obviously there've been long breaks, but like for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
So to have the first single from the album be a video with the three of us also feels like totally right to me.
Yeah, and there's so many places we go on the album, so this is a great like kind of like kick the door open.
I do think it's a song that kind of like hints at a bunch of feelings on the album while being its own particular thing, because as you said, the album is eclectic. I always feel nervous about using that word because I'm like, do I get to say the album's eclectic? But I think it's pretty eclectic.
Think about the greatest bands that were super eclectic. Like Prince, Blondie, Queen. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cared that they were breaking rules. Nobody cared that they were like punk, disco, new wave, funk. You know, it's like...
No, that was part of what was great.
Of course. So I'm never worried about... Well, I'm only worried about it if people boast and they can't pull it off, which is not your situation.
Thank you.
So we all handled it. No, I mean, it's like it really goes all over the place. So I'm really psyched for people to hear it.
So this is we're talking about Born Under a Full Moon. My name is Ann Stott. This is producer Barb Morrison, and we are super psyched that you all are going to get to hear this song and see this video. Check it out.
Okay, do that same thing, but do it to the
this one.
Camera.
Just the last part.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the last.
Yeah.
No, the whole conversation.
And take two. So, Ann, tell me about the writing process.